What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Silver Screen Shenanigans podcast. Today we're looking at Iron Man 2, and the question of the day is, if you were dying, where would you go first? My name is Devin, and I would probably, most definitely go to, I don't know, it's kind of a toss-up to me, to, Montana, Colorado area. Just find, a nice river and just, chill out until I die.
So that's a pretty good place to go. I mean, it really is. But I'd want to get out of the United States. I'd probably go. My name is Riley, and I would probably go to the fjords of Norway, just because it's beautiful there, and you got these big mountains with a river running through them. Be pretty cool.
My name's Jacob. Mine's kind of similar to Devin's, honestly. When I went to Colorado, I really liked it in the summer and whatnot. It's super cool. It's not hot. It's still warm enough to go do stuff out there. The altitude's nice, and the mountain views are amazing.
No bugs.
There's no bugs. And I the only other place I might have gone, Montana's cool and all, but I was thinking Alaska. I've always kind of wanted to go to Alaska. I think it'd be cool to go out there, do some
Alaska
fishing.
is pretty sweet. It looks sweet. I guess I've never been.
I've never been. But yeah, so we kind of started off with that question because that's kind of one of Tony's big dilemmas in this movie. And yeah, we're looking at Iron Man 2, and it's it sort of starts off with a recap of the first one, where it kind of takes you through the sequence of events in the first film, but then we go to these two dudes watching a broadcast on a little mini TV, and this older man dies, and then this younger guy, I assume that they're Russian because they're speaking Russian, but this older man dies, and we're guessing that that's the father of this younger guy, and he's crying out and super PO'd at the Stark industry.
I mean, it's hard to tell. It's another one of the things where they don't really specifically tell you what's going on and why it's happening, but you learn later in the movie. I don't like that. A part about movies is when they just expect you to understand things before they tell you.
And then this guy, I think his name is Ivan.
Yeah.
He gets out his own blueprints for the arc reactor, and I'm like, I don't remember that at all. How does he have blueprints for the arc reactor? Which we'll find out later. All these answers will come back later. And yeah, he makes one, which that's an that he can make his own.
Honestly, though, I don't know why he didn't make it earlier. If he had the knowledge and the know-how and the blueprints.
Well, he probably
something with his dad, I would imagine.
Yeah, he didn't want to do it while his dad was alive or something, because his dad was still there. Didn't want to waste time doing this when he could spend time with his father.
It makes sense.
And now he's on the fool's game of revenge.
Yep.
What's the saying? Revenge is best served what? Is it
Cold?
Like bodies. I think that's why they say that.
And then we cut from that sad, terrible scene to Tony jumping out of an airplane with Shoot the Thrill playing in the background, which is, AC/DC and Tony Stark it's perfect. The first one was Back in Black, and then this one, Shoot the Thrill.
Have you guys seen that meme recently where it talks about AC/DC just makes anything cool?
Oh yeah,
bro, it applies to everything.
Did they ever actually play Iron Man? I don't remember.
Is at the end of the first one.
Okay,
I remember that one when the credits were rolling.
Yeah, we skipped the credits. We went right to the after credits scene.
Yeah. Very, very convenient button, just
True.
skip.
Go for it instead of sitting in the theater for 10 minutes.
What was the after credit scene again? It wasn't just Nick Fury staying in his house.
I think.
Was that the
after Iron Man 1? I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Still not humble by any means. When the suit actually goes off him, his hair is still stand up and perfect, and people are saying do you really think that Tony would adjust his suit to make his hair still stylish? I'm
Yes.
Absolutely he would.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt, he'd probably put a blow dryer in it if he wanted to.
He absolutely he put a filtration system in the last one. And he's like, the world has been in its longing last of peace, and it was like, yeah, totally because of me, basically. He's like, yeah, very humble. He's a very humble. Well, it's true, but he's
So it was at StarkCon, or what was it?
basically,
Yeah.
it was like the World Fair, but like it's
Well, they
put on by Tony.
He built an entire park.
Yeah.
Just about him.
Oh, well, his dad actually did. He just reopened it, right?
Yeah.
And I have a question. Is this like a place at Disney, like a real thing, like an expo place that it's based off of?
Well, the World Fair was a real thing,
Yeah.
but this place, I don't think so.
Because I've seen pictures, and I don't know what not, if it's like part of video games or whatnot.
It reminded me of Epcot.
It could
like
be
Epcot
what I'm
Center.
thinking. Because I've always seen a world and like this tram rail coming around it.
That's Epcot.
And you see it in the Captain
believe.
America movie as well,
Yeah.
right? So, I don't know.
It very well could be the same place. Also, something we find out pretty quickly, though, that he's like drinking a lot of these like healthy drinks
It's all chloroplast.
because the thing, it's kind of a good line. The thing that's keeping him alive is also killing him, and that was from Jarvis, it was a pretty good line. Because the arc reactor that he has in his chest, the metal that's in him is slowly poisoning his blood.
Yeah, we can see he's running through like little discs of I can't think of the element that he's using.
Oh, yeah.
No, it wouldn't be uranium.
Palladium?
I think that's right. Palladium. I think that's what they call it. Anyway, yeah, he keeps running through little tablets of palladium, and
they're just like fried.
They are frying on the inside of him.
And I think Rhodey says like, that can't be good for you.
And we find out it's not. It's really not.
He has like is that his like blood vessels, or like what is that in his neck?
I can't remember what
I think
they
it's
said.
a rash. It's supposed to be a rash, but it looks like technology, like coding type things.
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense in like health wise, you know.
Yeah, no, it's probably not good. I tell you what, if you saw that on you, it's not good.
Well, you gotta go to every single one of these movies with it. So you gotta suspend your disbelief because it's a dude flying around in a robot suit.
Palladium arc reactor core for the Mark III. I just want to point out here, in the first one, remember when he like pulled out that cord?
Yeah.
He kind of went, like he was dying. Yeah. He pulls this out of his chest for a good like minute, right?
Yeah.
No reaction.
Well, the first time, so I think this is what's powering a magnet inside of him. Mm-hmm. So the first time she pulled the magnet out.
And he's like, he had a mini cardiac arrest there.
So he still has the magnet in there. It's just not being like super powered.
Because he says when she pulls that out, he's like, yeah, just mini cardiac arrest right there. But like in this one, yeah, he never like pulls the actual magnet out. He just pulls the arc reactor out.
It's a superconductor, right? Like it's an electromagnet. And so the thing is, if he removes the thing powering the magnet's no longer working.
I suppose.
So how does that work?
I don't know. Ask Tony.
You're thinking too much. I don't know.
My answer is it's a movie.
It is a movie. You are correct.
So yeah, and then he goes to the Supreme Court because because they're like, which it's actually it's a good scene. It's like the U.S. would be like super concerned of this guy who has a Iron Man suit, and which is also really funny because it's only in Tony's movies where like it should be in the rest of them, I feel like, but it's only in Tony's movies where like the military gets involved in the superhero movies. Which you can make the argument that, like, in later movies, they couldn't help even if they tried. But
yeah, no, I mean, like, with Thor, I mean, come on. He's literally a Norse god.
Yeah.
I think it slowly transitioned to, like, S.H.I.E.L.D. being the military force.
Probably, yeah.
I think so.
But also, I'm pretty sure in Thor 2, they have, like, the European police and the army, right, when all the stuff's going down? Aren't they in that?
I don't know. I haven't watched Thor the Dark World in a long time.
I don't think I've ever seen it. Like, actually.
Serious?
I'm pretty sure.
Anyway, so he goes to the Supreme Court because they're like, they want to take his stuff, and they're like, it's under the interest of national security and blah blah blah, all that crap that you've heard.
In this scene, in these last couple years, people believe that on his phone, which when did this movie take place? I guess when was this movie made?
The first one was 2008, so like a couple
2011 maybe.
A couple years after the first one.
So they believe that he is already a part of the Illuminati, which in the Marvel universe is not like the Illuminati in the world.
Right.
it's these like 3 people or 4 people who make all of these huge decisions for the world.
Question.
Covert secret decisions. Yeah.
The whole Illuminati thing. Are they hinting to that in the new movie?
I don't know. Which movie?
Doctor Strange and
Dude, I don't know
man,
what's
I haven't
I don't
seen
know
any of
what's
that
gonna
stuff.
happen in that movie. It's
I haven't
nutty.
seen any of that stuff.
But that's a long ways down the line.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, so they're trying to take his stuff, and then I can't remember what their argument is.
They're talking about how dangerous it is.
Yes.
And then he shows
It's like I got it under control, guys. It's fine.
He
And
hacks into their TV and shows them all of these bad like remakes. And
yeah,
like,
because they don't want copycats. They don't want
Right.
it falling into someone else's hands. And then so he hacks a Congress TV. He's like, oh, there we go. And then he's all around the world. People are trying to like copy the Iron Man suit, and they all
pull
fail.
Hammer, is that his last
Yes.
name? They
Justin
pull
Hammer.
They have Justin Hammer come in, who is supposed to be a
Weapons
expert. This guy doesn't know what he's doing.
He's like our B villain, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's really kind of the.
A villain, or he's one of the villains.
Yeah. I mean, he's the guy who pays the other guy to do things.
Yeah.
So, whatever that would be, the mob boss type.
Yeah.
And so he has been trying to make a Stark suit, I don't know, just an iron suit for a while. And Tony pulls it up and he's like, ooh, and the feet stay in place, but the torso completely turns around and there's a pilot inside. And then Hammer goes, I promise you he is completely fine.
No, that dude's dead.
He either can never walk again or he's dead.
doesn't he get up and like unplug his TV?
Yes.
Is it a criminal offense to hack a congressional
Probably,
TV?
yeah.
Because like it's like a normal TV. It's not like connected to their like hardware or nothing like that. So
Very clearly, Tony doesn't care. Because then he's like, I've successfully privatized world peace, and then he like gives the peace sign like with I don't know if it's a reference to Richard Nixon where he's
I'm not a crook.
I'm not a crook, and then he leaves. I guess Rhodey shows up and talks for a little bit, but
The new roadie.
new Rhodey, Don Cheadle.
Don Cheadle.
Do you guys like the Switch or no?
I don't think it mattered a whole lot.
I like Don Cheadle as War Machine, but that's just personal preference, I guess.
When it first happened, I was a little mad because I don't like when they keep switching characters.
Yeah, I was really confused because going from the first movie to the second movie, and if you didn't know that that's the same character, you'd think that there's just a new guy.
When he shows up in the Supreme Court, I think it's a fun little reference to real life where he shows up. He's like, it's here, it's me, deal with it. And I'm like, I wonder if that's like, just get used to it. It's a new actor.
Ain't it kind of weird though that like the government can't do stuff like that? Like they do this all the time with social media people. Like I feel like it's more just because like security reasons or
They
whatnot.
replace people?
No, the government like has these Congress meetings with like just private businesses. all the
Oh,
time.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense.
And also,
Yeah,
what
keep
we
everybody
find
in
out
line.
later about one of the Congress dudes,
He's a member.
of Hydra. We'll find out later. And so that makes a whole lot of sense of why he's going after Tony so hard to get these weapons, or what they think is a weapon. But yeah, Tony's like, no, they're mine, and I'm leaving. And yeah, the guy's like cursing out Tony Stark, like, F you, Tony Stark.
Total professionalism, you know.
Oh, absolutely. And in Congress.
On live TV.
It's not the worst thing that a politician has said.
Probably not. Probably not.
Yeah. Yeah, I wrote down, hey, yo, Rhodes looks a little different. Yeah, he hacks it. And then he's at 24% blood toxicity, which doesn't sound too good.
No.
24%.
Which is a lot. That's a lot for like blood toxicity.
I gotta look up what's the legal limit of
Mr. Resident Doctor.
yo.
And he doesn't tell Pepper.
Yes, he doesn't tell anybody. He doesn't tell a single person.
Like,
He's-
Rhodey knows something's up, but he's not telling anybody, yeah.
Yeah, he's starting to act more like whimsical. He does whatever he feels like in the very moment.
And that's how we get to one of the funnest scenes in the movie is when they show up to this meeting, or like it's
They're
like
at
it's
the- they're
like
at
a race.
Yeah, they're at a race, and I think he's like a major contributor
Sponsor.
or sponsor.
Um,
And Justin Hammer's getting interviewed, and he's like, "Yeah, me and Tony, we're we're not very competitive. We're like associates, we're not business rivals or anything. And then he turns around and Tony's getting into the car to drive it.
Oh, did we mention Elon Musk shows up?
Yes.
Yep. True.
So right before this, Elon Musk and Tony he's like, "Hey, how's it going?" He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm working on this electric jet."
Yeah. He's working on, they're talking about electric stuff in like 2011 or something, and then he did it, man. It was cool.
But
Yeah, so Tony just gets in a car because he thinks he's dying. So he just gets into this, like, what is it, like an Indy 500 car?
Yeah.
Super fast. And I think it makes sense, though, that he knows how to drive it because, like we saw in the first two movies, he's been working on cars just like in his spare time, just fixing up old hot rods.
Yeah. Well, and then again, he's moving around in an iron suit, so he's pretty strong.
Oh, yeah.
And, dude,
And his
those Indy 500 cars, or any like cars, when they go really fast, are extremely difficult to turn.
And his reflexes are, because I mean, when that HUD thing is up in his suit, he's got to be looking all over the place. Yeah, and then I think his name in the comic books is Whiplash, but yeah, Ivan shows up with the. It's pretty sick. He's got like the arc reactors connected to these whips, and they like have electricity going down them, and he's like just smashing up these cars. Probably killed like 4 or 5
He's
people.
slicing them in half.
Yeah,
Dude, he's cutting the road as he's spinning his whips.
and he's like I don't if anybody will get that. Like when General Grievous is like spinning the lightsabers, that's what he's like doing with these, and he's like just cutting everything in half. And then Tony comes around and he like cuts the front of it, so like the car flies forward.
Which
And
doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand
what
how
about
the people who like drive the cars.
Yeah, how do they live?
When they crash and it like rolls over? How are they alive?
It's perfectly angled so their head's not going to be smashed at all. Plus, they can still tuck down. And there's like 4.5 point harnesses in this thing. Like they're strapped in and they are not moving.
Okay, I mean I guess so.
And they have to have roll cages like built into the frame.
Yeah,
or it wouldn't be safe to drive those things at all.
if they get up in the air and it lands on the top, how is that not going to get crushed and then their head just gets smashed?
It's reinforced steel. Like that's the whole
Whoops.
point of it.
Forgot.
What did
We
skip?
also we met Natasha Romanoff,
Yes.
Oh yeah.
which we all know. It's Black Widow, and she like kicks the crap out of Happy, which is she does like the head roll thing, and
Well, doesn't Piper get control of the company?
Yeah, he goes.
Oh, that
"It's all
happens
your-"
too.
Yeah, sorry, we
he
skipped way
he just
ahead.
gets so basically like Tony's is
He
he's
realizes
like,
he's dying.
he's
and
dying,
wants-
so he's like, oh yeah, oh you want to run the company? Oh yeah, here you go.
It's yours.
You're CEO.
If we want to talk about how close he is to dying, if we're comparing this to alcohol, which we know kind of messes up your body,
Yeah.
potentially fatal alcohol poisoning is at 35 or 0.35 to 0.4% alcohol level, like blood toxicity.
I'd
And
imagine metal in your blood too is worse, but I don't know. Like the wrong kind of metals in your blood.
What did we say it was?
Palladium.
Palladium.
Is it real? I'm not.
Sounds real.
It
Sounds
does.
like
I'm not
platinum.
like 100% on my.
It is real.
Okay.
There you go.
I'm not good at my
How
elemental
much?
table.
How is that bad for your body?
Well, it is a solid piece of metal.
So yeah, those two things happen.
Yeah. So the reason that we were introduced to Natasha Romanoff is because that is Piper's
Pepper,
Dude, I'm not good with names.
her assistant. Yeah.
Her assistant. And yeah, so
Then we meet Elon, go to the race, and then Whiplash is here. Ivan is
God.
he's tearing stuff up. Tony gets out, and he's like Ivan's like closing in on him, and then I can't remember what he grabs, but like he creates like a little explosion with the gas that's like coming out of the car. It's like a spark off of something. Like he gets a spark off of something to like cause an explosion.
yeah, well, I'm sure it's probably the whip, right?
Something.
I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Then Happy
So he
hits him with a car, though,
he goes to whip him, and then Tony dodges it, and then he hits the gas, and it causes an explosion. So it's like he's not just the suit; he's still like this super smart guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Happy hits Whiplash with a car.
And then Tony's like, I couldn't like make it out. Were you trying to hit me or him? Because I couldn't tell. And they have
the suit with them.
It's a suitcase. Yeah,
it is.
It's a suitcase. Got him.
Oh. And they won't give him the suit
because like Whiplash is like cutting the doors and stuff,
slicing the car like
throw it.
Give me the suit.
And he finally gets to it, and it's a pretty cool like suit up scene where like it starts at his legs and like worked its way up.
Yeah, no, it's. I think those are always my favorite ones where like it's like a mechanical.
It's super mechanical.
Switching and yeah.
The later suits are cool because it's like a different technology, but I think these older suits look a lot better than the new ones.
Yeah, I mean, because the newer ones, he just hits his chest and then it materializes on his whole body, which is really cool. But you don't get that like mechanical.
Yes.
It's an iron suit.
Yes.
Type feel, and so yeah, he then gets suited up, and he's still having some trouble with this guy.
He's like getting wrapped up with the whips and everything. But then he just starts to wrap himself up, so he closes the distance, and then he just punches the dude and takes the arc reactor off. Okay, bye-bye, Ivan.
Yeah, he eventually beats him, and as Ivan is going off to jail, he's like, you could have made these way better. You could have Tony Stark is giving him advice on how to fix it.
And then like some like real cryptic stuff, like Ivan's yelling, "You lose, Stark," and it's like, I don't think he did. I think he.
Except in the eyes of the world, somebody else has built one.
True.
Therefore, he lost.
So then they're talking to each other in the cell. Like Tony is like, I gotta talk to this guy. Like, how'd you build a suit? And
because he saw that it was an arc reactor, and he didn't know how somebody had made one.
So basically, what the two big things out of that one is, Ivan says a pretty cool line where it's like, when you make God bleed, people will cease to believe in him. And he's like, that's all I had to do. All I had to do is hurt you, Tony, and then people are gonna. And then the other thing is, I think they talk about Anton Vanko, which is Ivan's dad, who used to work for Stark Industries until, according to Ivan, he was kicked out, wrongfully kicked out and sent back to Russia, where he like became an alcoholic and like sad boy, and then he died.
Yeah. And we find that that's not what happened.
Right. Later we'll find out something else. But Stark Industries, to a lot of people, still has this kind of dark past that Tony wishes to like rewrite.
Yeah.
But people are still angry with him, and then they're gonna come after the company or him, and we'll see that later down the line in a couple other movies too.
Do you guys want to hear about palladium? I was reading this whole thing. Sorry, I'm over here baffled. Apparently, used to use this like dentistry back in the day, and it caused a bunch of problems, which is why we don't use it now. Apparently,
adds up.
It's a super dangerous heavy metal, which we know heavy metals in the body is just not a good thing.
Oh, there you go.
Apparently, it's a possible mutagen, which in the Marvel's case,
to mutate.
The Ninja Turtle.
They have mutants, right?
Yeah,
with all of them, so that'd be cool. Also, it just messes up your body royally. It affects almost every single organ. It can cause tumors. It just causes enzymes to stop working. It shuts down the majority.
And he put this in his chest.
Constantly. And it's causing, like, it can cause thrush, like, which is just like a fungal infection in your swollen lymph nodes, painful throat. It destroys every single intestine, like stomach, intestines, liver, bladder, kidneys, weight loss, joint and muscle pain.
And we
destroys
used to
your
put
bones.
this in our mouth?
Yeah. There's a reason why we don't use it anymore.
Yeah, there's a good reason.
And he willingly put this in his body.
Yeah, that's all he had.
Yeah.
That was the only metal that would work.
Oh my God.
But then Ivan escapes prison.
Yes.
With the help of Justin Hammer, giving him some C4 and mashed potatoes.
Yeah, those were the worst looking mashed potatoes I've ever seen.
Now, wait a minute. That's not... So, yeah, Ivan is now working with Hammer, and Hammer is going to employ Ivan to make the same suits, and Hammer's going to, like, trick him out with all sorts of weapons, because he's got them all.
Yeah.
And then he needs his bird.
Yeah.
Yes, bird. Give me
Ivan's
bird.
only request is, I would like my bird from Russia.
He's like, a bird? Yeah, I can get you a bird. He's like, no, my bird.
Does he actually get him his bird, or is
No.
it just some random bird?
It's just a bird that looks like it. That's a big injustice in this movie that Ivan never gets his bird.
He gets a bird and he treats it as his bird,
Yeah.
but it's not his bird.
You guys ever like had someone who owned one of those birds in real life?
No.
I don't know what they're called, parakeets or
Like
whatever.
a-
They're not parakeet, but
Macaw, I don't know.
macaw. Actually, it is a macaw. It's like the white version of it,
Oh.
like from Rio, you know?
Cool.
But yeah, it's the blue macaw in those ones, and
Right.
it's like the rare version of it. But
Right.
I think they're actually dead now, by the way.
Oh, no, yeah, they are. They went
But-
extinct. They went
Whoops.
extinct.
We
The
used to
movie
have
didn't help.
We used to have like a friend that had one. His name was Toby. And if you go Toby, like use some kind of beat, right? They'll flare up that top feather and just like dance to you and fucking jump around. It's
goodness.
great.
That's great.
You should really get one. I'm not gonna lie.
Nah.
No, not a
Nah,
bird
they're
person.
too loud. Too loud.
Oh, they did teach it to cuss. So like whenever
Oh, no.
he'd scream "What the f" when he's like in his cage, and like let me out.
So he didn't get his bird. And
And we cut back to this is where Tony and Rhodey have a conversation where it's like Rhodey knows something's up with him, and
was this his birthday? Or
Yes,
is that later?
It was his
yes,
birthday party.
and he's like, I know what you guys are thinking, due to like against popular belief, I know what I'm doing, and then so yeah, like but Tony's just he's dying and it's his birthday and he's like it might be my last birthday, so he just gets wasted, and
in the suit.
he
He gets wasted in the suit.
Well, why wouldn't you? You own the thing. You might as well just use it.
and it's a party. Who cares? And this also touches on like another like difference between like Tony in the comics versus Tony in the movies. Like Tony is so much more of like just a prick, I guess, in the comic books. And another big thing with him, his character is his alcoholism, and it's not too big here, but like this is kind of like a little hint to that.
Yeah. And so he gets so wasted, he's starting to shoot the repulsors
Yeah,
in the middle of the party.
Were they throwing up plates, right?
wine bottles and
Wine bottles?
Yeah, but he's shooting it and he's falling backwards. So he's doing it and he's off balance. So he could just hit anybody on accident. At any
and yeah,
time.
Pepper's like, all right,
I can't watch this.
party's over. This is fine. And then another great line is where Tony's like, I know what y'all are thinking. How do I go to the bathroom in the suit? Just like that.
Such a good line. It's really a funny scene. But then Rhodey goes downstairs and gets on the
Mark,
silver suit.
Straight up
II.
stole the suit.
Yeah. I think this is the Mark II.
Yeah.
And so it's just the pure silver suit. Goes back upstairs and then fights with Tony.
I like how they called to that in the first movie. He goes, next time.
next time. No, not that guy, but another guy. Yeah, so they has fights and
Something really cool happens. One,
the
Tony gets his butt kind of whooped. And that could be because he's intoxicated.
he's drunk.
Well, he's holding his own. He's doing pretty well.
Even drunk, he's like, yeah.
well,
Then they-
extremely wasted.
And then they find themselves like, well, we find out it's also fireproof because his head's straight up inside of the furnace. But
So they shoot the repulsors at each other.
yeah, they're in a
Yeah.
Texas standoff. And obviously, this is like the first weapon ever to be developed, right, of this kind of magnitude.
Yeah.
So they don't actually know what happens when they shoot these at each other.
Yeah. Could have shot off like a nuke or something. They don't know.
Did they ever like say what that was or what
I mean,
happened?
I'm sure it was just the two energies hitting each other, and then it causes a explosion in the
Explosion.
middle.
Giant explosion.
Yeah. So he busted all the glass in the entire house. Luckily, everybody was out from the
Mhm.
party.
Yeah.
But yeah, when they started fighting, everybody left. And then at the end of the fight, they shoot their repulsors, and they both go flying.
Yeah. And they're both kind of knocked out, but then Rhodey gets up first.
And steals
And-
the suit.
Yeah, straight up steals the suit and takes it to the military, which like
Well, Tony wasn't being very smart with his suits at that point.
No.
So he's like, this is better than taking all of his
Right.
suits from him. At least he's getting a couple of them out.
I don't know if it's like a good idea though to take it to the military. Like honestly, because the
I think that's the
government-
point of Rhodey's character though, because he's like all about law and order serving the country right now, which will change.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I didn't
But
like
then
that
Tony is on the donut, on a big donut, because he's like hungover with sunglasses eating a donut. And Nick Fury shows up and he's like, "Sir, please remove yourself from the giant donut."
That donut, by the way, I'm pretty sure it's a landmark in California, like a big landmark.
Yeah,
think it is.
That makes sense. He's in California.
Well, it also makes sense why he's up in it, because nobody should be allowed up there.
Yeah.
For hangover wise, do you think it'd be just god awful to be flying in that suit?
You probably like put it on autopilot. Just like take me to the giant donut. And then we find out, Natasha is Black Widow, and then so they have a conversation about, they give him like a little medicine thing to like stop his. It doesn't heal it, but like it
stops
holds
the
off.
rash. It stops the rash, right?
And like it kind of makes him feel better for a little bit, but it's not completely stopping it.
I like how they don't warn him beforehand. They just,
stick him in
his neck.
And then in that scene, don't we find out that he's going to be tested? He's being tested in order to see if he can join the Avengers initiative.
I don't know.
Right? I feel like that's right.
That's why Natasha's there though, is to test him.
I don't think they mention it right there, but they warned him about something. I don't know what it was. I can't exactly remember. Like basically tell him to get his
stuff together.
Yeah. And then that's where the whole box thing comes in.
That's what it was. They'll take his suits.
Yes.
Because they don't exactly need him. They want his suits from him.
So anybody can operate. Well, not anybody, but like there are people who can like try to operate it.
Right.
And also
then they put him under house arrest.
Yeah. With Agent Coulson.
They give him a box, and they also tell him that he needs to look for a new element, right? That's when he tells him. Like, that's the whole problem. Like, somehow Nick Fury knows all about his whole...
Yeah, he's like...
Probably been watching him for a while.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Government agency spying on people, for sure.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely just in this movie.
Tony's like, I've tried every element. Nothing works. And then Nick's like, make a new element. I'm sure there's some ideas in this box here, and it's a bunch of Howard's old stuff that when he used to work with S.H.I.E.L.D. Yeah. And... turns out, according to Nick Fury, that we find out that Howard Stark worked on the Manhattan Project, which that's kind of cool.
Yeah. So he gets this box of all of his dad's old videotapes, and it's just him talking about the future that he wants. And we can see in one of the videos in the background is Tony, and he's messing with the thing, and he gets yelled at by his father.
That's the other thing when he's talking with Nick. He says his dad has always been sort of cold to him.
Yeah.
Which wasn't really true.
Correct.
Well,
he was harsh, but he still cared.
We'll find out later that Tony was kind of right.
Yeah. Yeah, so then we get our clip for today when Tony's going through that box.
True.
And, second one. Yeah, and so that's this clip that we got for you guys.
Tony, you're too young to understand this right now, so I thought I would put it on film for you. I built this for you. And someday you'll realize that it represents a whole lot more than just people's inventions. It represents my life's work. This is the key to the future. I'm limited by the technology of my time. But one day you'll figure this out. And when you do, you will change the world. What is and always will be my greatest creation is you.
So
That's
Howard,
that's just a nice
yeah,
scene.
no, it's cute, it's nice. So Howard's just that dad who like he very much cares about Tony, but he just can't actually tell him. So it explains why Tony is also kind of emotionally stunted.
But also, he almost didn't watch this video, by the way, too.
True.
This tape. He about skipped over it.
And we find out another big thing is he was working on that new element, too. Which I don't even know what Tony ends up calling it.
I got you. I'll look it up.
He Well, he finds it by accident, right?
Yes. He's going through like the Stark Park or whatever, and then like he's putting the molecules together.
At this part, so at this exact moment, we see Tony go to Stark Industries. Somehow, S.H.I.E.L.D. doesn't stop him.
Yes. Coulson just like, I guess, and the other thing.
Coulson goes to New Mexico.
Nick Fury also tells about Ivan's dad. He was kicked out of S.H.I.E.L.D. because he was like greedy and up to no good. So, it's just a matter of perspective, I guess.
Yeah, he was a Russian trader.
Yes.
He came from Russia but started working for the U.S. in the middle of the
Cold War.
And they found that he was hiding and stealing
defector.
things. So they kicked him out. But he was like a major part of Stark Industries.
Mm-hmm.
And so Coulson goes to New Mexico because
For what? We'll get to it.
Who knows? For something. And so he just leaves the other agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in charge.
And Tony gets out of there. No
immediately.
problem. No problem.
Goes to Stark Industries, where he meets up with Pepper Potts.
Brings her strawberries.
Yeah, he brings her strawberries.
The one thing that I'm allergic to. And he's like, see, I knew there was some connection, though. This is progress, Pepper.
So he brings her strawberries. She can't eat strawberries. So he bites one. She leaves because she's very upset, very busy.
Because of the drunk stuff, yeah.
Yeah. He bites one, throws them all in the trash. And
Like half of them go on to the... She walks in that room again, and she's having like an allergic reaction.
yeah. So he sees the park.
Yes.
The park's blueprints on the wall. Takes them off, puts them into because they break off into 3 pieces.
He's got a convertible.
Puts it in his convertible and drives down the highway with them.
So, and then he gets back, and he does all the techno stuff with Jarvis, and he finds out, these are the molecules for this new element.
See, the thing is, like, I don't think he stumbled it by accident, right? Because like he sees the shape of it.
No, he was putting it together.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he was. His dad said that he'd been working on this new element, but he's It's
limited by the technology of his time.
He's limited by the technology. Crazy, super crazy. That you're thinking years ahead.
Well, in the because this is we're watching them in chronological order, but if you were to watch these movies like Iron Man 1 and 2, you see in his notebook that he has the Tesseract that he's drawing. I'm like, hey, that's pretty cool attention to detail if you're watching it chronologically.
Mm-hmm. And then so he gets to making it, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And he gets like, what does he get?
He breaks
it's like
holes in his walls.
because he needs all the energy of his house to go to this one thing, like all the electricity, all the power.
He's making a super laser.
Yes.
And the laser has to hit a piece of metal or a metal ring. Prism at just the right angle. So
and he's like, hey, give me that thing over there. And it's
a blueprint for Captain America's shield.
Yeah. Which is like, what?
You know what?
So cool. So cool.
I did find out the element, and I don't believe what it is. The fact that it's Captain America's shield's like blueprint there is actually kind of a hint of what the new element he makes.
Oh, what is it?
Vibranium?
He makes vibranium.
Is it vibranium? Wow.
They never say that, right?
Dude,
Don't say that.
Dude,
no.
vibranium can do everything.
It's such an important like mineral and whatnot.
Later it'll be,
the MCU for so many different people. Why wouldn't they mention he makes vibranium?
And okay, that doesn't make any sense though. That doesn't make any sense.
Wow.
Iron Man 2 novelizes the element created by Tony Stark to replace palladium
My words.
in the
My
arc
words just gave
reactor
up.
is called vibranium.
That can't be right.
Why not?
Because when
Everything
when Captain America got his shield for the first time, they're like, well, that's all of vibranium that we have. And
Which is why
Howard
his dad,
Stark couldn't make an element.
But
He
then-
couldn't make the
but
element,
then
but
Tony-
they already had the
but
element.
Tony did.
he didn't have the technology to do it
But they already had the element.
because of an asteroid that lands somewhere else. That's why they had it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I thought that they had
Yeah.
the element and he couldn't make it. I'm like,
Yeah.
that doesn't make
There's
any
already
sense at all.
vibranium on the planet.
Yeah.
But the thing is, he wasn't able to recreate.
He was trying to synthesize it.
This, yeah. Tony's just a man-made vibranium.
Yeah. Okay.
How did I go this many years without knowing that?
No, that's nuts. I never knew that.
What?
Which that makes sense that it sort of fixes it because, yeah, vibranium can kind of do everything.
It
in the
can take
MCU.
it. It won't corrode, right? That's the whole thing behind.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, Coulson, New Mexico, New Element, and then instead of making, then we cut back to Ivan and Hammer, and instead of making instead of making suits for people to go in, Ivan is making robots that he can that have basically like miniguns and
he's pissed.
and miniguns like cannons on their arms. And,
Also, Hammer is upgrading the Mach 2 suit with weapons.
And that's how we get War Machine, baby.
And the mother, what was it? The mother,
Mother of all bombs.
no, what is
Moab.
it?
I know what you're. I know it. Yeah, it's a rocket.
The
that-
ex-wife.
Ex-wife.
It's the rocket. Yeah.
It's supposed to go 40 feet underground and explode like bunkers.
It's a bunker buster.
Which, not
Sounds
to that
really cool.
extent, but we do have actual like missiles who are what are called bunker busters.
You want to know something? I don't know the name of it. I have like friends in the military, and some of them are part of tankers and whatnot. There's a certain payload that they can shoot out that creates a tiny pinhole through the back of the tank, and it sucks all the air out of the inside of that tank and will suck the people through that tiny little hole. By the way. There's something like that.
No thanks.
It's a real thing they can shoot.
So what else happens there?
So
yeah,
Ivan-
Justin Hammer gives him like machine guns on his arms. He gives him grenades. He gives him a straight up minigun on his shoulder.
Which is
well,
awesome.
what was happening was he was showing him all these weapons, and then at the end of it,
yeah,
what's his name?
Justin Hammer, Rhodey.
Rhodey.
Yeah.
Rhodey goes, we'll take all of it.
He goes, what?
And then like it's a pretty cool looking suit. Like it's bulky to like compensate for like all the different ammo and like lasers and rockets and whatnot.
Rhodey also
and it's like
took the arc reactor out of it.
True.
Before Justin Hammer came.
True.
Which is
I do remember that.
because he didn't want him to see it.
yeah.
Which is smart.
Which is good because you don't want him to know. Yeah, and then he gives it like a dark blue kind of paint job, and it looks sick.
I think it's gunmetal.
Yes.
I think it's the color.
Very, very cool.
Looks very sick. And then so they're at the Stark Expo.
Yes.
And the rumor was Tony's not going to show up because of, he's not feeling good or something.
I think it was because of like just publicity after the whole thing. He's just like, I ain't showing up.
And then Justin shows off all the new robots for like each branch of the military, which is kind of neat. Then War Machine shows up. And then surprise, surprise, Tony shows up to his own expo. And he's like, we gotta get it.
He's congratulating Hammer
Yes.
for all of the.
And he's like, shut it down. Like, Ivan, I know what you're doing with Ivan. And he's like, what are you talking about, buddy?
Yeah, I like this whole movie, right? This one scene looks so fake to me, bro. It just kind of gets my nerves. If we have to rewatch it. It just stands out bad.
Which one in particular?
It's when he finally flies down, and he's waving with Rhodey.
And he does the superhero landing?
And he tells him to shut it down. And like it's just a close-up of the CGI Iron Man suit. And I'm like, man.
Yeah,
this whole movie looks so good, but that one
well, I mean, obviously when that mask closes, RDJ's not there anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, Ivan hacks all the suits. Not good because they're firing on a lot of people. Probably some people die.
Yeah. Well, dude, they're all like tricked out for the different branches.
Yeah.
Like,
So they got
Air Force has
the
missile barrage.
dude.
Shoot.
Army
They have literal like
machine guns.
It's like a cannon on
Yes.
their. It's like
it's a tank.
Yeah, it's a tank on their back. Because they like sink into the ground to like get like leverage or like stay on their footing, and then there's one for the Navy with like anti-aircraft missiles. It's like, people probably died.
Yeah, people die at the fair.
And then he also hacks War Machine, which is not great.
Yes, because Hammer did technology in War Machine.
Yes.
He can now
Has
hack
access.
it.
Like obviously he has the control of the base suit, but since all that military tech is in him now. Ivan has control of all that stuff.
Imagine how scary that is. You're just in this robot that's moving free of your will, and you're just inside of it.
Well,
going
hey,
for the
that's
ride.
not the last time that Rhodey's going to be in that position. So then, like, Tony does some, like, trickery with flying and, like, blows some of them up.
Yeah, he
Then
flies
there's-
through the globe.
True. And, like, smashes a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Do you remember
And
what they said recently about the kid in the Iron Man helmet?
Yeah, I was going to get to
You're
it.
getting it? Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
going to get to it. Yeah. Then, because also Rhodey is flying with these robots, so he's,
Yeah.
like, telling him everything that they're going to do, which is pretty nice.
Well, yeah,
And-
I mean, Rhodey's stuck in the suit, so
Might as well help Tony out. It's like these things can't turn for crap.
They
You know,
can't
go
maneuver,
go like real sharp turns. Yeah. So he blows a lot of them up, and then it's like they're just like hunks of metal all over the place. Tony's just blasting these things up, and then one's about to straight up shoot a kid in an Iron Man
because
mask.
he has an Iron Man mask on.
He's straight up about to shoot a kid, and then Tony, like, the kid puts his hand up, like, a little arc, and then, like, Tony shows up and shoots him with his gun. He's like, "Nice job, kid," and he flies away. Yeah, confirmed by the directors, that's Peter Parker, which is pretty sick.
Super cool. Which means that's the first Spider-Man movie. No.
No, I'm pretty sure
It's
Tobey
his
Maguire's-
movie when he's in it for 5 seconds.
I'm pretty sure Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man is way before Iron Man.
Well, I mean, obviously, but like
that'd be
in
his
the
first
MCU, that's the first. This is the first time we see Spider-Man.
What if the X-Men join? Then they're going to be the first MCU movies.
Oh, true. You know what? You have a point.
Yeah, because now technically Tobey's Spider-Man movies are the first MCU. Oh, no, we should have watched them. Oh, no.
Did we?
There are
Oh, no.
there's
We
so
messed
many.
up.
There's so many.
Well,
No, we're going timeline.
we'll
so
get-
we'd have to look up the year it's supposed to take place.
we'll get to all that madness later.
Oh man.
Also, we might have spoiled some stuff.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I didn't say nothing.
So,
So yeah, Rhodey or
he finally gets all of them.
Happy and Natasha go find
Hammer Industries.
Hammer. They break in. Happy is like beaten with this one guy. He's struggled with this one guy, and Natasha just like takes out like 25 dudes.
And he goes, "I finally got this one."
I got him.
Everybody is like, there's a guy strung up on the ceiling.
And she has those cool like little things around her wrist that like shoot that electric shock. Those things are cool.
Yeah, really cool.
So they get back control of War Machine, and then him and Tony take on. They're like in this like it looks like a nice little park with like a little stream and
I
everything.
think it's like a Zen garden.
It's like all things super peaceful, and then all the robots just land, and everything gets blown up and everything. They're like, "We need to be on the high ground.
There
It's
is
their
something-
strategic position," and then they all
land around them. Yeah,
They have
there's
this-
something about these Iron Man movies. They really like to break glass
True.
because there is a ton of broken glass in this scene and every other scene.
I wonder if it was a thing for the time
Yeah, probably.
to like add dramatic.
Well, think about
effect.
action movies back then too. Like they had people jumping through glass, breaking glass, falling through glass windows, glass ceilings. It was kind of the.
It's like an actiony thing to do.
Yeah,
You see, like later in the MCU movies, they don't do it as much.
right.
I love how they're fighting before this. Like who is the big weapon?
Yes. Which I don't know.
What's your guys' opinion?
Rhodey can't do the thing where like the laser in the middle of his chest, or like the red laser that Tony uses to knock all of them out.
Dude, that was sick, and he never uses it again.
No, he does it in later ones, but
No, he
it's,
does not.
yeah, like there's I can't remember if it's which Avenger movie it is, but he has one that doesn't like it's not one time use anymore. He's just trying to drill through it.
Yes.
And I'm pretty sure he uses it in the Ultron movie too. He just upgrades it. It's not that same thing.
Yeah, because
Okay.
in this one he says it's only a one-time use. He's like, why didn't he do that the first time? He's like, it's only a one-time use. Which I want to know what that is. What is that laser?
It's probably the laser that he used to make the vibranium.
Oh, bro, that'd be amazing.
Ooh.
That makes
He uses
sense.
that laser.
Since he was
True.
cutting like half his house down. He
Yeah.
also, there's one thing back in that scene I forgot about. He cuts through a box that says flammable, by the way. Me and my dad picked at it every time. We're like, what?
What was in the box? What was in the box?
And then it just cuts through all the robots like butter.
Yeah.
And then
They start.
basically the same villain is like this. My nitpick with like MCU villains, it's just a big gray villain that they have to literally a big gray villain
Yeah.
in like a lot of these MCU movies, because Whiplash comes down with basically the same suit as Ironmonger in the first one, but he just has the whips now.
And he took Tony's advice and made him like a double the power.
Yes.
Yeah, that's like the whole thing. Like the energy signature was different on this one.
Yeah.
And then, they has trouble fighting this thing because he just, like, every time they try to get in close, he just, like, whips him back or, like, he gets him tied up. And then they're just like, hey, remember my birthday party or something? So, like, they do the...
I want to talk about the ex-wife.
Yes.
The Hammer Industries ex-wife.
The best bunker busting missile there ever was.
It hits them and then it falls on the ground.
Pink, and then it makes like a little fart noise.
I want a question here. Like, what do you think happened? Do you think it was just a defective bomb? It wasn't what he said it was, or you think because it's all Hammer Industry stuff, it hit another Hammer tech? It didn't actually.
Well, the rest of the stuff worked. Like the rest of the Hammer
Well,
stuff.
those were just normal guns.
I'm guessing because it didn't explode, it was just a defective missile.
But do you think because it knew it was another Hammer Industry thing that it wouldn't blow up or friendly fire at that point?
That could be possible too.
It could be, but that would bring it into question the Stark Industries stuff from the first movie. If they were back selling to the bad guys, would you not be able to shoot them if you have hammer tech? And you're fighting people with hammer tech, you wouldn't be able to even hit them.
No, I was thinking it's two separate industries at that point. Like in your thing, that hammer tech knows when there's another hammer tech around, and so you can't lock on to your own hammer tech. So that'd be friendly fire at that point.
What I'm saying is if you are the good guys and you have hammer tech, and the bad guys also have hammer tech, you wouldn't be able to hit them.
I don't know. That's a good question. Maybe they can identify which ones have been sieged and whatnot.
I don't know.
Or it was a defective missile.
It
probably was. It's
probably just a bad missile altogether.
So they do the same thing that they did at the party. They remind each other of what they did, and they did. This part, that little nitpick. When they do the thing, it just the explosion totally encompasses Ivan in his suit, and just explodes, fries him, destroys him, vaporizes him, and then a minute later they go down at him, and he's a little beat up. His suit's a little. I'm like, no, that guy is vaporized. He is gone.
Then doesn't he say the same thing again? He goes, "You lose, Iron Man,"
because he blows all the suits up.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
And Pepper is standing next to him.
Throughout the entire park, every suit through the entire park explodes at once.
Same with Ivan's suit. So they're like, they gotta get out of there. And Pepper's looking at this robot, and it's going beep, 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 and run.
Anybody ever? There's a red blinking light.
So Tony, with maybe 2 seconds left. He swoops down, picks her up, boom.
I love how nimble his Iron Man suit is.
Yes.
The things he does, especially with the whole chase scene with the other robots and Rhodey still chasing him. The way Jarvis can map out different flight patterns for him is pretty cool.
It's impressive. I mean,
and they land, and she's like, "I can't do this. I cannot take this anymore."
She quits, doesn't she?
She does. Right.
She's like, "I quit. I can never decide if you're gonna kill yourself or I'm gonna die." And she's like, "What? I thought this is." He's like,
"This is working."
I thought I was showing improvement.
And then he tells her, right?
Yes.
Did he?
He was dying.
Oh yeah.
Well, I guess he tells them all through when he's fighting all the robots.
Yes.
Because he's like, "Well, I thought I was going to die a week ago."
You were what?
You were what?
And then Justin Hammer is arrested.
Yes. Because
he had an off-color comment to Natasha and Pepper. Dude, I won't say well, can I if I'm quoting the movie?
I think we got permission to cuss if we were quoting the movie.
I mean,
so I don't know.
let's just not say the exact
he was
words.
He was like, get these B words out of here. I'm like, yo.
Basically, what he's saying is, get the women out of here. We're trying to do stuff, and I'm like,
Justin Hammer,
they're smarter than you, my boy.
Yeah, and then he gets arrested.
Yeah.
Can we just talk about the whole roof scene again, though?
And he says, "I'll be back," and he's like, "We never see Justin Hammer again."
Maybe not yet. Can we talk about the whole roof scene? They end up confessing their love to each other.
Oh, they land on the roof.
They has kiss. Yes.
And then
Rhodey's
just chilling there.
He's like,
find a different roof.
He's like, oh, that's sweet. He's like, hey, you want to get your own? He's like,
get a different roof.
Get a different roof. This is my first. What do you do?
And then Tony's like, hey, can I get that suit back? And he's like, nah. And he just leaves with then so I guess Rhodey's officially like Ironmonger now, or not
Whoa.
Ironmonger,
War Machine.
Which
is really cool.
How would you guys feel in that situation? Your friend runs off, tricks out your own suit, kicks your butt by doing it, and then later on he goes, "You asked for it back." They tell you no.
Nah.
I feel like Tony knows it's like if anybody else, like he knows that he's gonna be more responsible with the suits, and he's little like two things are going on here. If anybody else has to have a suit, it's glad that it's Rhodey.
Yeah.
And it's good that Rhodey has the suit so he can keep Tony in check.
Ooh, I didn't think about that, honestly.
I don't know. Because I would have figured that Tony has contingency plans like that.
Yeah, well, they said it. They said that he has, like, bio scanners of, like, only certain people can use the suits. So Rhodey's obviously one of the people who can use the suits because Tony trusts him.
Yes.
I mean,
And so, they like each other. Pepper and Tony's relationship is blooming. It's very nice. And then this after credit scene is having Tony and Nick. Is it an after credit scene or is this part of the movie?
I think it's
don't
at
remember.
the end. It could be both, you know?
Oh no, I know what the after credit scene is.
Yeah.
It's so the end of this movie is Tony talking to Nick Fury about something called the Avengers Initiative, and it says like he was approved, but then like at the beginning it says like Natasha basically gave the recommendation like that he should be in, but then ultimately it's like no, he shouldn't be.
No.
Iron Man should be in.
Iron Man is approved, but Tony Stark is
Stark
not.
is
He's like, what does that mean?
I am Iron Man. What are you talking about?
And basically, it's funny how Tony puts it, but it's true. He's like, you know what? I'll just be on retainer. Call me when you. And then the after credit scene is Coulson showing up to New Mexico. Is it to show all the rednecks trying to like?
It shows the circle and everybody around it. They don't really show anything else.
And then
shows
he's
just the
like,
circle.
"Sir, we found it." And then it's Mjolnir, baby, Thor's hammer, and then boom,
Let's go.
it's end. But I mean, with Iron Man 2, for me, out of the 3 Iron Man movies, I think it's kind of the weakest one.
Yeah. Because the first one's the origin story, right? Like it's like the OG. It's the first one of the series, right? The whole franchise. So it's more nostalgic. Plus, it's kind of just like an story, you know? Like
it's just another villain that wants to kill Stone. It's another villain that wants to kill Tony that fights him with a big gray robot. It's the first movie again.
If you liked the first movie, you'd like the second.
Oh no, yeah.
It's not a bad movie.
It's not bad.
It's the Deadpool 1 and 2 thing, you know?
Yeah.
Where you find something that works and you do it again.
You stick with it.
And it sort of gets overshadowed by the third one because it's just kind of bigger and I wouldn't say better, but
I'd say better.
I'm looking
I haven't
forward
seen
to
it.
the
I haven't
third
seen
one.
it in 4 years or no, 7, 8 years.
Ooh.
Whenever it came out, that's when I seen it last.
I don't know. The reason I say Regan and I argue might be better because of the Mandarin thing.
The whole different, like, there's different versions of why each one's different, right? Like, better. Like, they have, like, their own aspects to it.
But this one was fine. I don't rank it as high as the first one. It's like a strong 6.5. It's fine.
Before we start ranking, if you guys had to choose, which one would you choose?
The first one or this one?
No. Iron Man or War Machine?
War Machine. Iron Man.
And why?
Iron Man can do so much more stuff with his suit. Like, he can do the laser thing in the middle. He can do the things on his wrist. He is, like, low-key, he's always upgrading. And whatever that Tony upgrades, War Machine's like, yeah, I'll have that too.
Kinda gets the
I'll
hand
take
down.
what he's having, please.
And also, I think, well, I guess it depends. Like, just the suit, or, like, would you be Tony or Rhodey?
Yeah,
No,
you're
no,
not.
Or is it just the suit?
The
It's
suit.
just you,
Just the
but in
suit.
their suit. And you wouldn't get all of the upgrades because you're not Tony, you know?
I'm saying right as it is right now.
Yeah.
Which one?
As it is right now,
Right now.
I think I choose War Machine.
War Machine? Because
Nah,
obviously,
I still go with Iron Man.
Tony's suit gets bigger and better later.
Yeah.
But, like, they have two different, like, ordinances. Like, Tony's all energy.
War
right?
Machine kind of stays the same.
No, he upgrades too with the different weapons, but
Sure he does.
But he
He
has
has robotic
more-
legs after a while.
he
Sure,
has more
I mean,
like
he looks exactly the same as the movies go on.
the physical power. Like, he has
Yeah.
physical bullets hitting him. He has the rockets and whatnot hitting him. Sure, in the first movie, Tony had rockets and whatnot, but does he even use rockets in the second one? Is it like all energy weapons?
I think it's all energy weapons.
Yeah, why would you need rockets when you have energy weapons?
Well, if
You got
like,
a point, but also
yeah, that is just the gist.
Yeah, I don't know.
Riley, what you?
I mean, I'd probably give it like a 7, 8. I mean, it's a really good movie. I like the first one. I love the second one. I guess I love both of them, but I think I just have to give it like a 7 or an 8, 7.5 maybe.
I think I'm gonna go the same. I don't remember what I did for Iron Man 1, but the fact that like he is still upgrading his suit in this point, and like all the different hints and tricks to like all the different like Marvel Easter eggs and stuff in there, like the Illuminati was cool.
Still building the universe.
The fact that I'm still learning stuff about this movie, like he made vibranium.
Yeah.
And I
insane.
totally forgot that Elon was in this movie.
Elon. And so I think it's all cool. I think they do keep stepping it up. I do like the first one more because of nostalgic reasons. But yeah, 7.5.
Nice. Well, if you guys have any comments, questions, concerns, please let us know at
Silver Screen Pod
Silver
at
Screen
gmail.com.
Yeah, thank you. So thank you guys for listening. Have a good night.